Hello. So we are all done with the syllabus of our Unit 4 of your subject Human Resource Management in Global Perspective. Let's understand what exactly it is all about. Now we are just going to talk about two things. One is mergers and acquisition, another is knowledge management, the very last topics of your syllabus part. So when you talk about mergers and acquisition, let's understand first the very important thing. When I'm merging, that is, we have been time and again discussing about mergers and acquisition in, say, business planning subject, in strategic management and business environment as well. So it's like from first semester itself you have been studying about business, mergers, acquisitions, takeover and ancillarization, these things. Now when you merge, when you have these companies coming up together, it looks very simple, Hero merging with Honda, Hero Honda. But then when you look from the organization way, when you look at the HR way, it's absolutely a different ballgame. You are merging. So I have two HR departments, I have two finance department, I have two operations set up. What do? Should I keep on having these two together? If I keep on having like this, I am bearing the cost of double employment. So what profit am I going to earn? What do? I remove people. That's where we do retrenchment, layoff, these HR terms which you have studied. But then coming to HRM perspective, now if it happens to be one company is Japanese, another company is Indian, and I'm merging, so there is going to be a lot of communication and lot of things happening back and forth. How do I look into it? How do I take care of the human resource in this part? How do I understand that there is this country A, there is this country B, and when they are merging and becoming AB, how many people from A, how many people from B should be there? And then the communication pattern, is everyone able to do? The work pattern, it's different. If Japanese bow down like this, the Indians prefer touching the feet or doing it like this. So this is just a cultural difference. I'm giving an example. But then the way of working also varies. So when I get into a merger or an acquisition, either I acquire a company or I merge it with another company, I need to look into the aspects from pre-phase, due diligence, post-phase, and then understanding how this impact has been. The image which we have on the slide with regards to these different phases in a very crisp form. Understand like this. If I have to start a business, first I need to think of the idea. That's the pre-phase. So same way, before I get into the merger, I need to see the background information. Am I going to gel up with the culture of that country? Are the people going to accept me as the service provider? Who's going to take hold and everything? Once the pre-phase is done, once you decide that okay, you're going ahead with the merger, you take this whole due diligence, that is a lot of brainstorming and thinking going on to understand if the cultural barriers are going hand in hand, and then you are able to overcome these barriers, and then the employees from the ground level, are they able to walk up to the level of the another culture and gel up and everything. So once this is done, you talk about the final decision, you talk about the post phase. So you start making the documentations, the language barrier, the way of working, every single thing, you work it out, the currency exchange, everything is discussed, and that's where my IHRM comes into function. So it's not a very random thing that okay, two companies are merging and tomorrow in news we have okay, company A, company B, they are merged. It requires a lot of efforts pre and post so that this merger continues. Now it's obvious, many places we are going to have different kind of interactions and contradictions. We end up having fights with people in our own family and our siblings. So we working with another culture, another individual out there, obviously we might have some view contradictions. So what do? So we try to sort these things out from the ground level itself and convert it into a positive form, and that's where the merger works out. Otherwise, we do have merger failures, we do have acquisition failures. So particularly two companies coming together and then it is not working out. When does it not work out? One of the element is HRM. So when we look at cross culture mergers and acquisition, again these cultural barriers are something very invisible, but then play a crucial role in keeping these mergers going on. And lastly, when we talk about knowledge management, now what exactly a knowledge is? Learning, getting new concepts, getting new ideas, all sort of things. You learn something new. If I ask you also what knowledge is, you'll probably come up with these options. But when you talk about knowledge and management, I've got so much of information with me, so much of data with me. How do I manage it? How do I keep it with me? How do I put it up in a usable form? I have database of 10,000 people with me. I have their name, their roll numbers, their seat numbers, everything about you people. What if I have this data? But then it's all helter-skelter. 10 names are in one file, 20 names are in another file, 30 names are in another file. And then I have to look for, okay, there is this one guy I am looking for and I need to have this seat number 115698432. Now how do I locate in these multiple files? So what do? I club it together using some softwares and then managing it in such a usable form that I can access it from anywhere in the world. So we come up with all sort of information, we come up with all sort of use of ICT in knowledge and retaining knowledge so that the applicability and usage of this knowledge is to the maximum level. People out there, maybe the topmost authorities, maybe any part of the management, people are able to actually take care of this whole process and this whole knowledge. So I have a knowledge about a country, say somewhere in Central Asia, and I know specifically how the people over there are, how the customers are, how the employees work. But then how am I using it? This is one thing. Another knowledge aspect is how am I using the whole information that I have with regards to my business, with regards to my employee. If I have a very simple process, your recruitment, which involves making of your personal file, making of your information together. Now if I don't have your personal file with me, the data with me, how will I come to know in case if you face any kind of health issues going in US, maybe you are not able to accept the climate. So I come to know from your personal file, your medical history, that okay, you are having some kind of an allergy to say a cold temperature. So for that matter of sake, this knowledge management helps me. This is from the employee perspective. Overall also, this knowledge management makes it important for me to use my minute information at the right time in the right form. So always understand that when we are looking at this whole thing of knowledge management, it's more about having the information, using it in the correct form at the correct time and in the correct manner, which is through some or the other technological or ICT usage. So this was in whole altogether about the subject human resource management in global perspective. Just for the revision, we covered 4 units where we spoke about unit 1. We spoke about the overview of IHRM. We spoke about the second unit, that was the global HRM function. The third unit, managing your expatriation and repatriation. And the very fourth unit, that was all about your roles and the challenges and the trends that are there with respect to IHRM. This was all about your subject. Thank you for watching the videos.